What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I want to discuss President Biden's big moves that he made today. I want to address one of the big decisions that he has coming up, and we're going to dive into the stimulus package update for this afternoon. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. The Senate and the House are away on recess, but that doesn't mean we're not getting closer to a deal. So I want to break down what's currently being said, where we're going to go from here, and how you can at least understand the progress that we've made. So this is what we know so far. Right now, and you probably think, the Senate has so much stuff that they're doing, right? Well, here's the thing. They actually got one more thing to do. Today, this was a big day. Today, President Biden, he announced that he is going to renominate Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, and he's going to nominate Lael Brainard as the Vice Chair of the Federal Reserve. Now, this is why this is so important. This has to get done. This has to get done. We need a chairman in the Federal Reserve, right? But here's the thing. The Senate, they have to pass the Human Infrastructure Bill, and lawmakers want to see this done before Christmas. However, the Senate goes on recess on December 10th, so that's 3 weeks away. That's a big one. We got the debt ceiling increase, that this must happen before December 15th. That would be the X date, according to Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. Well, again, the Senate goes on recess on December 10th, so they got to get this done in the next 3 weeks. The third thing, we got a continuing resolution to keep the government funded. And this, we don't got until December 10th or December 15th. We have until December 3rd. We got till December 3rd to pass that continuing resolution. We also know that Senate, they're trying to do a voting rights bill, right? And on top of that, now they're tasked with the renomination and nomination of the Federal Reserve Chairman, Jerome Powell, and the Vice Chair, Lael Brainard. So it's going to be a busy time for the Senate. But here's what I can tell you. Right now, this is actually getting a lot of pushback. There's a lot of people that did not want President Biden to renominate Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. Remember, Powell was a nomination from former President Donald Trump. This wasn't President Biden's pick. However, according to many, they are saying that right now, the easy pick is Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, because number one, if we see continuing inflation, I addressed this yesterday. If we continue to see inflation, what's going to happen is President Biden and the whole Biden administration can be like, that was actually former President Donald Trump's pick. That's not my pick. I only renominated him simply because that's going to keep stuff stable. We're not going to have big ups and downs, no big swings. So right now, he does have quite a bit of bipartisan support, but some say that this is not the person they want to support. But again, remember, this was a pick by former President Donald Trump. But here's what reports are telling us as of today. As of today, according to reports, he does have a decent amount of support, but according to some, they don't know if he has enough. We do know Senator Warren, Senator Whitehouse, and Merkley all say they will vote no for Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. They all do support Lael Brainard, though. And as far as the other side, Republican Senator Sherrod Brown and Tina Smith both support Jerome Powell. So it's going both ways. We got Republicans that mostly, I'm pretty sure every single one of the Senate Republicans do support Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. There might be a couple, but that would be about it. But on the other side, we got a decent amount of Democrats that do support him as well. So as of right now, the likelihood of him being the Federal Reserve Chairman is very high. However, some will vote against him. Now, here's what you need to understand. The reason why this is so important at this point, number one, I just said, it puts more of the pressure on Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell as opposed to putting all the responsibility back on President Biden, simply because he was nominated by former President Donald Trump. That's one thing. But according to many, this could actually cause a greater divide amongst Democrats. So we got to keep an eye on this. But for any investors out there, what you need to understand is if Lael Brainard would have been the nomination, chances are stocks would have just went up, right? Quickly went up. However, today we saw a big sell-off in many different sectors. But what I can tell you right now is this was a good time. Today was a good time to buy stocks. Tomorrow is most likely going to be a good time to buy stocks. Over the next couple of weeks, probably good times to buy stocks. We are probably going to see the stock market start to stabilize. It's going to come down a little bit, after Thanksgiving as well. But this is a great time to start investing if you are not already. And if you want to start, I'll put a link down below where you can get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,800 by opening up an account on Webull. So use that link down below. You can get 2 free stocks. But let's jump into what Democrats are doing right now. Over the past week or so, Democrats have been applauding themselves for passing the $1.2 trillion bipartisan bill, right? Which they say they got it done. And they're applauding themselves from passing the $1.75 trillion human infrastructure bill, which they say it was just Democrats, which it was. But here's what I can tell you. Right now, this morning, many Democrats are saying that they are very worried about the possibilities of the infrastructure bill getting trimmed once again. But here's what Brian Deese had to say. And I think this is extremely important because he is pretty much playing into the worries that Democrats are having. Brian Deese said that, and he stated that this bill will pass the Senate. It's going to head back to the House and finally over to President Biden's desk for a signature. The only reason why a bill would have to pass the House, go to the Senate, and come back to the House is if the Senate changes or modifies the bill. That's the expectation, according to many. The Senate is not just going to make a few little modifications. They're going to completely alter this bill. And as to what they change, honestly, we don't know. It's most likely going to have to do with immigration, paid leave, potentially tax cuts, the SALT tax deduction, big ones right there, right? Maybe the child tax credit payments, because we do know Senator Joe Manchin wants to see work requirements there as well. But again, a lot of this stuff is up in the air. And the crazy part about this is when senators come back to Washington next Monday, a week from today, the expectation is they're going to have more answers. They're going to know what their constituents wanted and have wanted for a while because they're back in their home districts talking to people, over the holidays. But again, if they come back after a week off and now have more clarity as to what their constituents want, every single senator can come back. All 50 Senate Democrats can come back and be like, you know what? Let's get rid of this. We need that. Oh, we don't want paid leave. Let's do something else instead, right? We need more for immigration. We need more for this and that. So we'll see what happens. Now, there are a lot of things that are not on the table. Their stimulus checks aren't there, but it's still there as far as Nancy Pelosi's $200 million for her park in San Francisco. It's still there, but there's no stimulus checks. So we'll see what happens. But as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share more. Here's what I do know. According to multiple experts, they are expecting the IRS to audit many people. About 1.2 million audits additionally per year are going to happen. And about 50% of those, about 600,000 audits, are going to be to those that are making less than $75,000 per year. And according to the House Minority Leader, Kevin McCarthy, he says about 300,000 audits are going to take place of people that are making less than $25,000 per year. So he is saying, and again, he's a Republican, so these numbers could be somewhat construed. Take it with a grain of salt, obviously, but that's what he's saying. Now, I don't think he's completely wrong here. Do I know it? Do I think it's going to be 1.2 million additional audits? I don't. There's no way to really say there's going to be 1.2 million more audits. I don't think there's a way to do that. But if President Biden gets this $80 billion to go to the IRS for additional IRS funding, it's expected to bring in a little bit over $200 billion in revenue over the next 10 years, which is going to help pay for this bill. So here's the problem. Almost every single Republican doesn't support this. And there's a handful of Democrats that don't support this either. Here's the problem. If this doesn't get put into the bill, the bill will not be fully funded. It's already not fully funded, but this bill will be farther away from fully being funded, and this would actually get Senator Joe Manchin to pull out, Senator Kyrsten Sinema to pull out as well. So there's 2 votes that they would lose. This bill wouldn't pass. But here's what you need to understand. Democrats are worried. Okay? They're extremely worried, not just over this, but really over everything. They're extremely worried right now. But when President Biden's poll numbers keep dropping, that worries them. When you got many people saying that if Democrats don't pass more legislation that they promised, people are going to start voting against them, vote Republican. But here's the worry that Democrats have. They're worried that Republicans are going to use this IRS provision and potentially auditing people that make under $25,000 per year and auditing 600,000 people that make less than $700,000 or $75,000 per year. They are worried that Republicans are going to use this to campaign against them because President Biden promised nobody that makes under $400,000 per year will pay a single penny more in taxes. But that could be a lie. So we'll see what happens there. Here's something else I want to talk about regarding the IRS. Many people in the community, and I also looked online, have been trying to call the IRS over the past couple of weeks. Here's what they kept saying. They were getting reports, and the media was spreading reports that the IRS decided to shut down their call lines. So shut down all their phone lines, all their operators, in order to divert those resources over to the tax return backlog, to fix the tax return backlog before we get into the upcoming tax season. Because I think it is February 15th. Let me look really quick. I think it's February 15th that we can start filing our income tax for 2021. So we're a couple months away from that, but still they want to be ahead. However, even though that was the report, and this was reported by many mainstream media, the IRS has since denied this report, saying that is not what they're doing. So just looking up kind of what you should expect, according to many reports, the IRS is extremely overloaded with calls, and they have been for the past 20 months or so. So just expect, if you call early in the morning. That's the best way to get a hold of them, and stay on the line. Do not hang up, because obviously they're not going to call you back. So just stay on the line. Now, let's talk about another major decision that President Biden has coming up. According to multiple businesses, they are telling President Biden that they are going to lose the majority of their workforce if a vaccine mandate is put in place. And here's what we know. Just the other day, a truck drivers association with more than 2.5 million drivers, they told the Biden administration, the White House, that if they are required to get a vaccine or have a weekly test done, they are going to quit. Let that sink in. 2.4 million drivers could potentially quit over a vaccine mandate. Now, I bring this up because right now, the trucking situation, the transportation situation is one of the leading causes, one of the main reasons why we're seeing a supply chain shortage. It's not because they don't want to work. It's because they're overworked, they're not getting paid enough, and then they have so many restrictions. But just consider this. If we see a truck driver vaccine mandate, what's going to happen is many of these transportation workers are going to quit. They're going to just stop driving a truck, go find something else, and guess what happens then? It's going to negatively impact our economy. It's going to hurt. This is going to hurt. So if this happens, just understand, we are going to see shortages all over the country, even more so than we're seeing right now. So according to many reports, the expectation is the Biden administration is not going to push for this, because if he does, many are saying that would be the end of President Biden. So we'll see what happens. But again, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on, share all the latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday. If you enjoyed today's video, do me a favor, go ahead, hit that like button, consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.